So it's Monday morning, it's Australia Day, public holiday. I have returned to the shop to try and get Riley's car finished. I've played with some camera settings. I noticed in yesterday's footage that the autofocus, or in a lot of the previous episodes, the autofocus isn't responding very well. It looks like it's tracking me fine now. We'll see how it goes. Today's goal is to finish the airbox, get the intake pipe complete, which involves some CNC work and some custom pipe making and things like that. So let's get to it and fly through this project. So I've just run back to the shop because I started editing the airbox video and somehow I've managed to lose the first 10 clips of footage that showed me making all the cardboard templates. So the video that I've got actually picks up from when we're doing a stencil on the CNC machine. So I have no idea how I lost the clips, where the clips went. I'm hoping I can find them. If that's the case, you won't see this footage, but chances are this will be the intro to the video. Over at the CNC machine, we're going to mock up the drawing of the lid for this airbox. I've just got some butcher's paper just to double check that our measurements are correct when we drew it in the computer. So I'm just going to hold this texter up on the router head, touch it on the page and just follow it around. Key to doing stuff like this, or my advice for doing stuff like this would be don't overthink it. Just get the pen line on the page. Gone around and made some notes. So I want to take the drawing on the computer out 5mm and 3mm in these two spots to follow the body line a bit better. Going to remove 3mm from down here to follow the body line a bit better. And I'm going to add 8mm to this end here. But I'm going to go ahead and make those changes to the drawing now, and then we'll draw another one on the CNC machine and see how that fits on top. So attempt number 2, I've changed the front section here and made the changes that we noted previously. I just want to change a couple of little parts here just to get that perfect fitment. So we're going to go through and do this one more time. Okay, attempt number 3. So that is a really good fit. So now we can go ahead and mock up the sides, back and base. Alright, so I've just made some changes to the side panel, which has moved the bracket to the right location. I'm not sure why that was so different. And I've just rounded off some sides to make it a bit more attractive. So the next thing we need to figure out is where this induction pipe is going to come through the sidewall of the airbox. So this is going to be made out of a 4-inch donut, and it's going to have to line up with the air filter, of course. So I think what we'll do here is hold the airbox panel in place. So that's in the right location there. And what I want is enough straight section to put a silicone joiner in here. From there, I'm simply going to project. So there you can see I've projected from the turbo where the 90-degree goes through the sidewall of the airbox. And like everything else we've done previously, I'm going to go translate this into the computer, do a mock-up and see if we're in the right location. Okay, so I've reprinted this with the hole marked on the CNC machine. So there, I think the hole size is good. I just did 4.5 inches to fit a 4-inch pipe through. It's going to have a flared or a bead rolled edge, It's going to have a bead roll on the end. So I'm going to move it up, whatever the distance here works out to be. I'll do a measurement upstairs, and that's where the hole will be. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish this panel, and that panel should be ready to cut out of aluminium. This is the first piece I want to make out of aluminium. So I'm about to cut the side and the back using the vacuum table on the CNC machine. Bottom brackets, the side panel and the rear panel. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean those parts, file them, get them ready to tack weld, and then we're going to try and fit them in the car. The problem with that is the same problem that I always have. Mess, 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 and more mess. Since I'm only working 2 days this week, I don't have time to clean. I'm just going to push it to the side and and get this stuff done. So one of the downsides using a MDF vacuum table with a vacuum cleaner is that sometimes the MDF can buckle. Usually I face it, but I'm in a rush today. Even that doesn't always solve the problem, and the vacuum cleaner doesn't always have the power to suck down a piece of aluminium that's getting cut. And you may or may not be able to see there that the cutter or the material actually moved while the cutter was running around. This hole is not round anyway because in the computer we simulated the pipe coming through on the angle that it's coming through on, and we are going to put a rubber seal around here as well. Not a big deal, but just if you see that I'm doing this and think that's a great idea, I'll copy it. Be aware that there are those pitfalls potentially. 90-degree fold. So on this I decided to go with a bolt-on lower bracket. That allows me to have adjustability. So that bracket gets bent at 90 degrees. So the back panel, the top flange that'll mount the lid, gets a 90-degree fold. And get a good look at the rear panel, how that's going to go together. Have to fold this flange a little bit greater than 90. Perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and tack weld this together. Don't know at what point the battery just went flat, but hopefully it was while I was tack welding, and you guys haven't really missed anything. And now I'm going to write the program to cut the lid. I need that lid in place to figure out where this back piece is going to fasten, and I'm going to manually or hand drill the hole. Okay, so I've just finished cutting the base piece for the airbox side, which is going to go in this area here. I'm going to weld this up. So now I'm going to set this aside, let it cool down, and then we'll get to fitting it to the vehicle. So right now the goal is to figure out where the side and back panels sit in relationship to the lid being in place, which looks to be about here. So now I want to mark where this hole is and this hole here. here. So how can I show you that? So now I'm just going to drill these two holes here. I'm going to pop a nutsert in this hole here and tap a thread into this hole here. So thread tapped, no problems. So I'll pop the nutsert in here, hopefully. Let's drill these two holes. Punch, punch. So running an M8 in this hole and a M6 in this hole. Need some adjustment in these, so I'm going to elongate them. You can see there that I have just drilled another hole next to it. Just going to grab the hand file and file them out the old-fashioned way. Elongated both the holes. Now let's fit it back to the car. Just lock the lid in place so I can mark it in the morning. So here's the airbox. I've got a cutout for the power steering res. So along here the lid sits flush with the side of the box. Down here I have a provision for the intercooler pipe. Earlier we made the bracket to bolt it to the car that also bolts to the airbox. So we do have some height adjustments, some in and out adjustment. You guys can't see in there, but I will put a spacer between the strut tower and the airbox, just the way that it wants to bolt. There is a space in there. Next step for me is to put 3 fasteners in the lid, but it's just gone 6:45. I want to go home and have some dinner. So I'm going to pop back tomorrow. We will continue with the airbox. So back working on the airbox. Today is the day where we drill the holes. So what I want to do is secure the lid's location as to where it sits relative to the side panel. And we can remove the lid and remove the side panel. Okay, so here we've got the 2 marks we just placed, and we know that the airbox lid sits flush with the side panel. So I just want to secure it in a couple of places. So while I drill that second hole, I just put a bit of tape around another drill bit, pop that in the drilled hole, and that will stop any sliding around from that hole. So we're going to use 6mm, so I'm just putting a 6mm arbor in the nutsert gun. Nutsert arbors are all reverse threads, just so you know. Looks good and looks good. So just grab some bolts. Time to bolt this to the car. And actually, I just noticed, which I almost forgot, and it's easier now than later, is I have not rolled a bead into these intercooler pipes, so we'll do that now. So I'm just trying to scour over it for a final linish. So just cut a quick piece of silicone. So a little bit of simple green inside of the silicone. The simple green will evaporate before the car even gets a chance to start. So people that use silicone spray, WD-40, not a good idea. Simple green or some sort of detergent. And let's fit the airbox. Now I just want to check the lid. So check where the lid bolts in before we commit to bolting the airbox in place. So 2 tips for fitting a bolt like this. So we're using stainless steel stamped washers. So installing the washer upside down, so the stamp side facing the bolt head. and I like to use silicone, putting a silicone O-ring on after the washer to secure it. Last thing I want to be doing is putting these bolts in this car and the washer's falling, scratching the part, or doing something that I don't want. So it gives me full control over the bolt. So that's going to wrap up this video for making the airbox. This was a really fun little job, and the airbox was great fun. It's been a long time since I've done the cardboard template and then the Fusion 360 work through to the CNC and produced a product at the end, and very difficult, very technical, and I enjoy it a lot. So thank you, Riley, for allowing me to make this awesome airbox for you. That's going to wrap up this part of the build. Next episode we'll be fitting the blow-off valve. Again, it's going to be a very tricky little thing to fit. But as always, thank you guys so much for spending this time with me. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.